From the liberal Northeast comes a lone voice of truth. Honest commentary in dishonest times. Think deeper with Juan Newsom. This is the Cure Radio Program. This is the Cure.
Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in. I am Kat Hernandez, and joining me is Mr. Juan Newsom. Say hi, Juan.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy indeed. We are in the season, and I know a lot of people just want to skirt over the rest of 2020 and get straight to New Year's, but I happen to enjoy Thanksgiving, and I think that we really need to slow things down and look at the bigger picture of all of the lessons that we've learned this year. What about you?
I just want to know, am I allowed to have more than 2 people at Thanksgiving?
You get one turkey drum leg, and that is your max. Anything else is uncalled for. I mean, we really have to talk about this, right? Because Thanksgiving is supposed to be a time of the year where we reflect on how life has come about and we enjoy time and we appreciate the people in our lives. However, government officials who somehow believe that they are the dictators of the lives of everyone else in this country. Meanwhile, we elect them. They didn't elect us. They seem to think that they are the ones who create the rules for how we live. And I think that it's a little screwy. It's a little screwy what power does to you, makes you believe these things about yourself. But I'm enjoying my Thanksgiving with as many or as little people as I feel that I want to.
Well, we almost canceled Thanksgiving. We kind of canceled it, not because of the regulations and the rules, because we just really don't feel like cooking this year.
Well, that I hear. And also a lot of people I know are going to um get delivery services from different restaurants in order to help the small businesses so that they actually don't have to cook, but they could still prepare Thanksgiving dinner. But
hmm
you are in lockdown state of New Jersey. So what is the plan over there? What is the governor over there saying and doing? Because we know he's cuckoo cuckoo in this lockdown mode.
He's wackadoo.
Wacky doos to the Maximus.
I think that's what, 10 people? 10 people. 10 people is the
So
cap.
you got 4 kids?
Yeah.
You and your wife, that's 6. So who are the lucky 4 invitees? Because
And
I
my
know I didn't get
father,
an invitation. And your dad. Okay, so you got 3 people. Who are the 3 lucky winners? It's like the lottery. Like, who gets to go to
well,
Thanksgiving? Are you important?
well, we didn't invite anybody. That's one of the reasons why we didn't invite anyone because
You didn't want to risk prosecution?
not in this neighborhood. Oh my God.
The Karens will rat you out.
Bunch
They
of
have extra people.
bunch of Biden Harris signs around here.
Oh man. Don't you ever look at them and wonder like what happened in your life? Who hurt you to make you so brain warped that you believe having 10 people versus what 12 people? Let's say what's the difference between 10 and 12 people? Like how is that saving your life right now?
hmm hmm
I
I
don't get
don't
it.
know. I don't understand how there's so many Biden Harris signs in this neighborhood with $1 million houses.
You think it's like, well, and New Jersey has the highest taxes in like aside from Illinois throughout the whole country. I mean,
California too.
ugh, you guys get taxed like crazy. Yeah, I just be working for the system.
hmm
But Isn't it counter to what we know Thanksgiving to be? Thanksgiving's supposed to be the time when you do get together with your relatives. It's a time when everybody looks forward to eating. Like, I know I have reduced my calorie count if you follow my videos. I am only eating like the bare minimum as far as calories because I plan to pig out. And I already know my favorite things that I'm going to get and load up on. So, like, I look forward to eating. Now, I'm not a people person, so the 10 people rule doesn't really bother me so much. But the fact that they're trying to dictate that that's what you could have, now it's like, well, I want 15 people at my spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It makes you rebellious.
Mm.
The nerve and the fact that they're so two-faced about it. Like, they're planning to go away to Hawaii. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
are planning to take a trip
Oh yeah.
on the taxpayer dime, no doubt.
Rules are for thee, not for me.
I mean, do people not like do first of all, do you think other people know about this, or is it just because we're kind of in the know and we follow these stories that we're aware of what's happening?
No, I think people know I'm probably upset about it, and just like De Blasio. De Blasio, he's anti-gun, but he has armed security, and I remember he justified his armed security over his, what would be a proposed gun policy. Like, well, I'm a public official. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, an official appointed by the public that you are now trying to restrain rights of.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with the Mayor Lightfoot, also known as
Boy.
Beetlejuice. She can do what she needs to do. She can have police, even though trying to defund the police. She can go get her hair did because she has to be seen. And believe me, we all want her to get her hair did for
Mm.
real. If I gotta look at that lady's face, at least like put some paint on it or something, because she is not
Mm-hmm.
attractive woman. But anyways,
No.
Gavin Newsom gets to go out and enjoy his 30-person meal at his high-end restaurant. But you out there in California, they got a call-in number for anyone who violates the maximum allotted human beings in one location at any given time. I mean,
Mm.
it's so absurd. I bet you in Tent City, you could like congregate in your tents with like 50 people and they won't bother you while you're shooting up your heroin or whatever they legalize, meth or what they legalize over there. Didn't they legalize like everything?
Everything is pretty much legal there. They don't enforce any drug laws.
Well, I mean, once Hunter Biden was caught with the crack pipe, I mean, legalization of drugs was just imminent, don't you think?
Well, no, I mean, in California, they had, they've been smoking there. I mean, you go to San Francisco, you have people out there just smoking like straight up drugs in the
Yeah.
open
Yep.
for the longest time. So,
Yep. They don't care. So the idea that these politicians care about you and that's why they're restricting you is absurd. Because if someone can allow you to get alcohol while on a shutdown with the um dependent on alcohol and become more and more depressed since you're isolated, yet they won't let you go to church. They
mm,
won't let you go to
mhm.
school. They won't let you go to work. You really have to start questioning why the people that you elect don't mind you being in a stupor and being dependent on all these sedatives and drugs and pills and everything else while they isolate you in your home. Like, you really have to start thinking about why are they doing this to you? They
Mhm.
separate you from your family, they separate you from your God, and then they give you all of the means to kind of do yourself in. They're not
Mhm.
helping you. They are
Mhm.
not helping you. They are enslaving you through your emotions, through your mind, and physical dependency on any kind of drug or intoxicant you please.
Well, at least you're in the land of the free.
That's right. I'm in Trump land, baby.
You're in the land of the free.
When I roll out my hood, I see Trump Pence signs all over. They are still up. People with the American flags everywhere. That is where I'm living, and nobody bothers you. Everybody is kind to each other. Those who
Mhm.
want to wear their masks because, they feel like it's a safety thing for themselves, that's what they do. But no one is harassing anyone else. This is the country of personal responsibility. And
Mhm.
I think that at the end of the day, if people don't start fighting for their own rights to choose the life that they want to lead, like you're just going straight into enslavement. And I think even worse than in socialist countries.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely in the north there's a different feel. People are definitely tired of the lockdowns here, but they're much more compliant
Yeah,
versus if you're in the south, there might not be, there's just a different attitude towards it.
there's a lot more resistance.
Yeah.
Because I think the difference is that for so long, especially in the inner cities, you have become dependent and they create the social programs to be that way. So
Mhm.
you are always a little bit dependent on the system, you know? When they talk about taxes, like you actually want your taxes to be increased so that you can get more social services and reach out to more people. That's what
Mhm.
they you believe. Whereas if you're an independent contractor or you own your own small business, you want less taxes so that you can help the people that you employ and get more products for the people who buy your products or services.
Mhm.
So the mindset in an inner city is just created in a way that government becomes something that is good to have in your life. So you
Oh
don't even
yeah.
notice it. You don't even notice it
Yeah, we steal from each other.
on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then they give you all the reasons to hate people who are wealthy, not mentioning that people who are wealthy are also at the greatest risk of losing everything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy to get a paycheck.
Paying most of
Somebody
the
else.
freight too. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
paying most of the freight too. You look at the top taxpayers, and usually in the top six, there are about three or four oil companies. Then you have other large corporations and other large entities. And then the rest of the 10%, the top 10% is, large and mid-sized businesses, high net worth individuals and families. But a lot of people are in that top 10% and don't even know it. If you
Yep.
make over $100,000, you're in that top 10%. So when liberals talk about the wealthy, they're really talking about anybody in that top 10%. Anybody in that top 10%. If you're in that top 10%, you got a lot to lose when liberals win elections.
For sure. You know what also kind of burns me a little bit is listening to like CNBC, Squawk News, and everything.
Yep.
Because now, they're talking about the stimulus package.
Yep.
Now they're talking about the vaccines. Now they're talking about all these things, yet do not in any which way give credit to Trump.
Yeah.
And at all, not even
Yep.
a single mention. They'll mention the companies, they'll mention the need for Biden to gain access so that he can expand his plans. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about how the stimulus money is going to start improving the stock market. But they never talk about how Trump's economic growth stimulated the stock market in the opposite way by deregulating and giving money to businesses to be able to grow and expand. And that's how they became more successful and the stocks were growing. Now it's all based on stimulus money, which is like that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
even real. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
real money. They're like printing paper that's worthless. to drive up prices on stocks that are also worthless. So they're literally creating the next bubble
Mhm. Mhm.
and enjoying it. If you listen to them, it's so gross how they speak about everything. And then they
Mhm.
talk about the holidays, and it's supposed to be a Black Friday at some point, right? Or
Mhm.
are we doing away with that too?
No, no, no. I think we're gonna have Black Friday this week. I mean, next week. Is it next week?
How is it that even going to be possible with all the people who haven't worked and the fact that Congress refuses to negotiate on a stimulus? People should have been paid, should have gotten some kind of money from August. Like
Yeah.
back in August, people should have had, we should be
Yeah.
on like the third or fourth stimulus if this is the way they're going to keep the economy locked down,
Mhm.
realistically.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. They just found 5,000 votes in Georgia, in ballots
Of course they did.
in Georgia that were cast aside that were mostly went for Trump. Now, what are the odds of that? Two sets.
High, high odds.
I mean, that's insane. What are the chances that you're gonna have two in two different counties? You're gonna have boxes of votes that are set aside that mostly went for Trump.
Can I guess the counties?
What?
Would it be Fulton and Cobb?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. I believe
Do I
so.
know? I know my areas
How
because
do
those are the contested areas, and those are the mostly heavily black and Democrat runs counties, and that's where what's her name, Stacey Abrams, put out a tremendous get out to vote effort, which I think highly fraudulent in the way they collected voter information and signed them up. I don't believe for a second that maybe like 30% of those who were registered to vote actually went out to vote. And I highly, highly doubt they even know if they were to go look online and see like their information. I highly doubt a third of those people voted. There's no
Mhm.
way you sign up 800,000 voters and 800,000 of them go and vote.
I'm so sick of Stacey Abrams.
Can we
Uh,
add Michelle Obama to the I'm so
I'm
sick
so
of list?
I'm so yeah. She's on that list too. She's been on the list, but I'm so Stacey Abrams. Talk about outwearing your damn welcome. I'm so sick of her ass. I mean, she's running around. She's running around, throwing her weight behind elections like she actually won something a few years
It's
ago.
the money. You got to follow where did the money come from? Because they set up these foundations, right? So they set up all these ways to get cash from where? From who? Who is investing in this loser other than somebody who wants to manipulate the election? And the other thing with the those voting software and everything, this was a setup for years, for years. And
Mm-hmm.
they just made it like they just made it so obvious, so blatant that it's like, come on. If we don't say something about what's happening now, like this is never going to change. It's never going to go back to being anything other than they're going to put out whoever they want to put out, and your vote actually will not matter moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, yeah. They got to get these mail-in ballots under control, man.
It's
It's
not
just
necessary to do mail-in.
yeah.
They lied to us about all the coronavirus stuff, and you know what? You if you believe that coronavirus and the second wave is happening and all this stuff, fine, fine. Be about it. I don't want to hear about it. Like I don't believe it. I didn't believe the first wave. I'm definitely not buying the second wave. They have been talking about a second wave for about since the first wave happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we now have a vaccine that they don't want to give to the United States, they want to give it to everybody else.
Yeah,
Two,
that
two
makes
with
no sense.
90 plus percent efficacy. Why? Because they want to destroy American freedoms. because they know we are the stronghold of the entire world. You take down where the freedom is, and you control the masses, and everybody's your slave.
Yeah, I don't get that wanting to distribute it around the world first. Like, what the hell? Like,
Bill Gates.
we take care of our people first, and then start shipping it all over the world. Like, what in the hell?
How dare you be so selfish, Juan? How dare you? There's more needy people in the world, Juan.
Mm, mm.
It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. But aside from that, there are many things for us to be thankful for. I think that this year has really revealed who the crazies, let's call them swag, who the swag
Mm-hmm.
are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Who are those that, maybe they are around you, but they're not about you. I
Mm-hmm.
think that it really revealed a lot of the shortcomings in the educational system,
Oh yeah, definitely.
um, in unions, teachers' unions, the effectiveness, why we're pouring so much of our money into schools that are rotten and failing and ill equipped to actually educate a kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think we have a lot, even though it's been a tough year for a lot of people medically. I think also this year, to be honest, you've had 8 months of lockdown. Has anybody, like, what do you think is the percentage of people that have gotten healthier in these 8 months, knowing
No,
that
nobody.
building, this is what I'm saying. Not nobody. I have.
Mhm.
But if you knew, right, from the beginning, immune system, your diet, your weight, your blood pressure, your sugar intake, all of that was going to affect your ability to fight off this deadly virus. Wouldn't you have made changes and taken steps to be healthier, knowing that that is the one thing that would actually save you?
Mhm.
Who did that? Nobody. Nobody did that. Nobody, not nobody. Very few people paid any attention to that. And the people who never were on that track are still never on that track.
Mhm.
So you know that bettering your health, making better choices, being more mentally stable, emotionally stable, physically, active is going to help you survive something like a coronavirus. Wouldn't you have taken some steps?
Yeah, true.
But they didn't. And they haven't. So now we're in a second wave. You deserve a second wave. Y'all deserve a second wave. Sorry, you should not be having a second wave if you wore your mask, cleaned your hands, and did everything that they told you to do. If we're in the midst of a second wave, then you have failed yourself. You have
Mhm.
failed your physical body. You have failed in your mental well being. You have failed you. Nobody else who doesn't wear a mask is affecting your health as much as you are affecting your health.
Now this is true.
They don't want to hear the truth, Juan. They can't handle the truth, Juan.
This is true.
Are you blowing kisses at me?
No, it was something on my microphone.
Was it Corona?
I don't know. I didn't think Corona was visible.
Little dust particles of coronavirus. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so tired of hearing people say, oh, well, people with diabetes, people with this, people with that. Okay. Most people afflicted with diabetes, it's not type 1, which is something that you're born with. It's usually
Mhm.
type 2 that has everything to do with your diet.
Yep.
If you're obese, it's usually not a thyroid problem. It's usually a self control and inability to control your caloric intake. Right. It's usually you're not motivated to get up and actually work out. You've been trapped in your house with nothing else to do. Peloton had free classes. I can't tell you how many people who do yoga had all free classes showing you YouTube. You could get free
Mhm.
classes 24/7. even just doing breathing techniques, which I was initially showing how to do, which takes maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
A lot of martial arts schools, they were doing classes online too.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
mean to tell me that in 8 months, you couldn't show any improvement in your physical and everyone else who is not in that high risk group is supposed to feel bad and
Hmm.
now go into a second wave of lockdowns?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. It doesn't
no.
make any sense.
Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I know it's not nice, but come on.
Mm.
We're all adults. I mean, for the adults, we're all adults. And at some point, you have to turn inward and look at yourself like, hey, I'm affecting my body, not anybody else. Unless you're being physically abused and forced to eat junk food all day or whatever the case is, nobody else is affecting you the way you're affecting you. So take a little bit of self responsibility and make the little changes or shut up and stop complaining about it. Like, not everybody, 95% of the population does not need to be locked down, and there's really no reason for it.
Mhm.
That's all I got to say about that. Juan.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, now that Democratic governors like Phil Murphy and Gretchen Whitmer
Oh
have this type
God.
of power, they're not so easily wanting to give it up. They don't want it anymore.
The thing is, in Michigan, they have a right to carry,
Hmm.
except for in Detroit, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the laws are.
No, they loosened the gun laws up in Detroit, actually.
So so you have the ability to protest your government. I mean, if this chick ain't learned from the first attempt to kidnap her, and by the way, I'm sorry, but I don't really believe that anybody wants to kidnap that lady. Like,
I'm sorry they didn't get a chance to.
be easy, Miss Smollett. Like that has a Jussie Smollett tinge to it. Like, who wants to kidnap you?
I was
You?
like, I was thinking to myself, it's a shame they didn't get her.
And take her where? Where they gonna put her?
I
Like,
don't
keep
know.
her ass over there. I'm over here. Don't bring her this way. Ship her to China or something.
She is crazy,
Not
man.
only that, how much Botox are we pumping into the flesh now? Because between her, Nancy Pelosi, poor, what's her name? Harris. Poor Miss Harris got the Botox bug and it jacked
Mhm.
her face up for a minute. But like, seriously, the shine to the flesh is not natural or normal. Like a little here and there, but these people, who is stealing you? You too
Mhm.
high maintenance with the hair and the Botox. Like, get out of
Mhm.
here. Who wants you? They are
Uh,
suffering from some, they think very highly of themselves that people will want to actually steal them.
she's like a mini dictator. So only dictators are that paranoid. So
Yeah,
she
she got
is
reason to be
she is
paranoid, but
she's out of control, man. They really need to vote her ass out.
the thing is, even if they did vote her out, how would you know since they rigged the election?
That's true.
I mean, that's the whole point of this whole thing.
That's
Why
true.
why would anyone continue to vote for this woman? I don't get it. They're like the same mindset as the people who voted for de Blasio. Like,
Hmm.
what is happening in the
Yeah,
world?
yeah. I
It
don't think
doesn't make sense.
I don't think De Blasio is going to get reelected, to be totally honest. But
Dude, he couldn't even get 0.0001% of a national recognition for a presidential run. And there's how and New York City alone has 10 million people. He couldn't even get like 1,000 people to vote for him in a
mhm.
city of a million, 10 million. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a major loser. The only way they could win is to cheat.
yeah, yeah. They're
But
all losers,
ultimately,
cat.
at the end of 2020, we got to be thankful for Trump. We really have to be thankful that this man had the cojones to stand up to these psycho sociopaths
He
that
said
want to
cojones.
control everybody. that he had the fortitude to keep moving forward with his warp speed vaccines, even though they kept telling him he's crazy, he's not engaged. How can you explain a president that doesn't have the depth of knowledge, that isn't engaged, that isn't involved, that isn't communicating, when he held press conferences every day, an hour, 2 hours long, with his team, with the expert, every day explaining what they were doing, how they were trying to help people, had his financial team, had his uh medical advisors, had every scientist. The only person who was able to not only just come up with a plan of action, but execute the logistics of getting the PPE, figuring how to distribute it, getting these ships distributed to these areas that are hardest hit, then coming
Hmm.
up with a public private partnership for not only the PPE, but also then the vaccines, deregulating the FDA so that they can move forward and start doing testing without having to jump through hoops, and getting medications, getting these experimental drugs happening, getting all these companies moving, and
Hmm.
then having the plan to distribute it once all the vaccines were tested, approved, showed efficacy, which is the stage we're at now, and be able to move forward with distribution by utilizing our own military, which he's also withdrawing from other countries so that they could be here helping Americans.
Yep.
Who else had the foresight to do it? Biden wants in on the plan because he won't have a clue on how to move forward.
Hmm.
He wants to know what the plan of action is because he don't have a plan himself. He wouldn't even be
Hmm.
able to strategize it, think of it, or execute it in any which way the way Trump has.
Exactly. And that was the whole point. I mean, he kept saying during the campaign, well, the president doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
the
well,
plan you're trying to take over.
like, bitch, you don't have a plan.
He couldn't even get out his basement. How he gonna have a plan? His plan is to wear two different masks at the same time. He clearly isn't getting enough oxygen to his brain as he's trotting along, which is probably why he can't keep a thought straight. I mean, you
Yeah.
could pump somebody with as much adrenaline and all the rest of the hormones, I'm sure, vitamins and different mixes that they're plumping him up with, but that can only last but so long. I mean, he is deteriorating and we haven't seen him because of that.
Hmm.
Yet he should have
Hmm.
access to sensitive national information. I don't think so. I don't think so. And let's remind people, when Obama was transitioning to Trump, he is the one who started that whole Flynn investigation. He is the one who launched into getting the campaign being spied on, which has been revealed to
Yep.
be an actual factual truth. Okay. He's the
Exactly.
one who was covering, he's the one who they transcripts saying, should we provide them this information?
Yep.
Questioning whether Trump could handle that information. So the nerve that he has to tell him, oh, Trump should just concede and get out the way. Negro, you need to go away. Nobody wants to hear from you. That's why you had 10 people and little dots at a Biden rally. Okay. And his
Hmm.
book is failing. His book,
Hmm.
nobody has even mentioned the book he came out with that they doing all these press conferences for. Like, go away. We had enough. 8 years too many
Yeah,
of the
seriously.
Obamas. Like,
We
give us a
definitely
break.
we definitely had enough.
Go find Tiger Woods and play some golf. Like, go, go.
Hmm.
Enough
Hmm.
already.
Hmm.
Such nonsense. But I'm going to be thankful for Trump as I eat my turkey and my sweet potato and my corn souffle. And maybe I'll throw some spinach just for good measure,
Hmm. Well,
just so I can feel healthy.
just like we said, even if, let's say, by chance he doesn't get another term, he still accomplished a great deal
Oh
in
my
that
God,
one
yeah.
term. So
Absolutely.
it's almost like he did two terms. I would have loved to have actually two terms of Trump, but
Yes.
you can't get
But we
everything you
gotta
want.
we gotta hold to the faith that the truth will be revealed through all of this commotion and murkiness of the swamp. because when you start thrashing around trying to kill the swamp creatures, the waters get a little cloudy and a little murky and you can't really see what's happening. So
Yeah, the
let's just
swamp.
hope that that's the stage we're in right now. And then soon everything will be revealed one way or the other. Like
Oh,
no president makes us or breaks us, but the failure of the systems to be equal and free, that's the part that's really
oh,
disturbing.
here we go, Cat. A third. Here it is from
Oh,
breaking
uh-oh.
news
Breaking news.
from the Epic Times. A third Georgia county finds memory card with uncounted votes. Okay, here it is. A third county in Georgia discovered a memory card with uncounted votes, a majority of which were cast for President Donald Trump,
Which
according to
county? Which county does it say?
Walton County.
Oh, that's down there near Cobb also.
Wow. So our monitors tell us election officials have found a memory card that was apparently not uploaded. The number of uncounted votes is not as large as in Floyd or Fayette, but
Fayetteville.
President, yeah, but President will pick up votes. Schaefer wrote on Twitter, according to the Walton Tribune, Trump netted 176 votes as a result of the discovery.
See, nobody is the expectation of these votes being found is no longer to get Trump more votes than Biden because it would be impossible given the fact that the fraudulent votes for Biden have already been mixed in.
Yeah,
So you can't find more than what they've already added that
yeah.
that fraudulently added for Biden.
What?
But what it does reveal is that the whole thing is erroneous. The whole thing needs to be revised. And it's not by having another vote, but by taking this vote to the legislature and figuring out how each state and their representatives are going to weigh in on one side or the other. And with the Kraken coming out, revealing the corruption, you may also have a lot of these.
Who's the Kraken? What are you talking
You don't
about?
know the Kraken? Sidney Powell? You didn't hear it?
I heard Sidney Powell. Look. My thing is with Sidney Powell, put up or shut up.
You know what the
Put
Kraken
up.
is, though?
What's the Kraken?
So the Kraken is a sea monster in the
Oh, I know
Clash of
what
the
the Kraken
Titans.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So the reference to that is that when they were trying to take down one or other in the Clash of the Titans, the king, whoever it was, said, "Release the Kraken to
Mm-hmm.
take down the other side." So basically, that's who Sidney Powell is. But there's so much reach in all the corruption and fraud that is multi-layered. So yeah, you'll find a USB over here. You'll find a box of ballots over there. Altogether, they're not going to equal what you need. But what they do equal is a case of fraud and election tampering to an extent that none of the results can be
Trusted.
validated. Like
Yeah.
you can't accept any of the results because all of it was fraudulent in one way or another.
Yeah.
That's what the reference of the Kraken is. And the shit is like, to be perfectly honest, it's not like she got the FBI on her side looking into this stuff. Barr said, okay, Department of Justice could investigate, but she's doing all this stuff by herself. They're doing this investigation on their own. And they're up against the
I need
machine.
them to drop the hammer, man. I need them to
Well, all
get
these
this.
little things are coming out bit by bit by bit, right? So you can't reveal your hand all the way because they even have said in Georgia that the people who installed and said it was okay for the Dominion machines, which are the machines that are in
Mhm.
question, and I think it's semantics or systematic, some other company that is like that controls that group or that sector of Dominion machines.
Mhm.
The different governors and people in different states were getting kickbacks for awarding these contracts to the company.
Oh, wow.
So if like in Georgia, Governor Kemp has been so quiet. Like the silence is deafening with
Yep.
Governor Kemp. So
Yeah,
what they're
yeah.
saying is that he got kickbacks for allowing the Dominion the contract to go to the Dominion voting machines. So if that's what they're investigating, she can't come out with that and without verifying all of the links in the chain. It's like when you go after a kingpin, you got to take down a whole bunch of
Well, she
local
only.
drug dealers, top dog, and sometimes you got to cut deals, you got to negotiate all kind of stuff. She has actually until December.
Yeah, we got a month. They better get on it.
No, they have a month. Once December rolls around, if the electorate can't certify the election, it goes to the legislature, where then they have to take a vote on it. And then the American population and the public will see all the evidence from now till then. The Supreme Court could weigh in potentially, given if there's enough votes or evidence or whatever. But if they just stall and delay until December, then you're going to see state by state representative who is voting for Trump and who
Hmm.
may be caught up in the corruption that's going on.
Yeah, true.
So my perspective is possible. Fuck them. They want them out. Let them wait. Why you got to rush through it? Let them wait. Shit. Apparently, Obama waited 10 years before his economic plan started taking effect. That mofo. So we got time, Juan. We got time.
Mm, mm.
All right. I think that's all for us. We'll end with the Kraken.
Kraken.
All right, guys. You have been listening to Juan and Kathy Talk podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy. Be thankful for stuff. Find the little things that bring you happiness. If you're stuck in a blue state, we feel sorry for you. You got limited to 10 people. If you are in the red and in the free, hope you have lots of fun with your family. Take time to be grateful because even through all this mess, there are things to be grateful for. If you want to tune in, make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Juan and Kathy Talk. And we outie. Say bye,
Audi.
Juan.
Audi 5000. Oh.
This is The Cure.